plaintiffs, Elizabeth Figg and her husband, Jamian Figg, say Jamian has 3 children with the defendant. And since he got together with Elizabeth, the defendant has done nothing but cause problems. Elizabeth says the defendant has 10 children by 5 men, and they're suing her today for a pair of jeans, a cell phone, and stolen property. Defendant LaToya Allen says she does not want to get back with Jamian, and she's sick of Elizabeth's constant harassment. LaToya claims Jamian recently agreed to sign over his parental rights so LaToya's husband could adopt his 3 children. And she's countersuing for harassment and emotional distress.
Start with you.
Okay. Well, Judge Mathis, the defendant and my husband, they have 3 children together. And so since 2005, when my husband and I met, Miss Allen has been a pain. It has been very difficult. She's vindictive, and she has done everything she could to try to get back with my husband. And at this point, I really just wish she would move on.
Describe some of the things that you're referring to.
Well, she waited until 2009 when my husband and I got married to reveal to my husband that the youngest of his 3 children with her was in fact his. And at that time, she was 4.
She assumed, obviously, that you would have a problem with him having another child.
Yes.
Okay.
She went, and then she also at that time revealed to me that they had had a relationship during a period of time that we had broken up. She said, oh, and by the way, he came by my house to see the children.
Oh, so she called you with the information about the child?
Yes.
Not him?
No, she called my cell phone, me.
Oh, okay. And so that kind of speaks for itself. Ma'am, you want to address this before I let her give some more background?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Mr. Figg was continuing to come by my house. Those two were having problems in their relationship. He was continuing to briefly visit with the children. And I had addressed with him that I was taking him to court for child support. And would he like a chance to be able to tell his fiance at the time about the child? He said no. He knew about the child previously when I was pregnant.
Did you call her about it?
No, I didn't call her about it. She called me about it.
How do you think she found out?
Yes, and then
how did she find out about the child?
I told her about.
Remember he asked you not to.
He didn't ask me not to. I stated to him, would he like to tell her?
Right, and what was his answer?
He never gave an answer.
Oh, you told me he said no. That's what you just told me.
No, sir, Your Honor.
Yes, you did. I just heard you. All right, you started out with a great, big, gigantic lie. Go ahead, ma'am. I'm very clear on her trying to cause problems in your marriage. It's absolutely clear.
Okay. She also has 10 children by 5 different men. And so she uses these children as a way to first try to trap the men. And then when it doesn't work, she uses it to try to punish them in the end.
You want to give some background?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I would like to just say that I don't understand why I have to continue to keep dealing with her. Every time there seems to be an issue, she's at the head of the issue. I didn't have children with her. I had children with him. And in my opinion,
type of things is she doing? She said what you're doing. What is she doing?
She continues to harass me, and I do have proof of the harassment. Driving by my home, calling my cell phones.
That's what she does to you?
Yes, at 2 a.m. in the morning.
And what does she say?
She just nonsense.
Like
just nonsense. Well, what are you guys doing? My husband's here with me.
All right, that's your counterclaim, harassment and emotional distress. But if there is anything else you want to tell me about other than the harassment, we'll get to that. You can tell me now.
Yes, sir. Mr. Figg has signed over a waiver allowing my husband to adopt the 3 children that he doesn't want anymore, as long as I would let him out of $18,000 in back child support. This has never been about getting back with him. I am happily married to my husband, Mr. Charles Allen, right here. I don't want to have any contact with them. I don't talk to them. I don't call them. I don't want to have anything to do with them. We just want to live our lives peacefully and continue for my husband to adopt the children and go on about our way.
You sound very good and convincing and all that. If you hadn't started out with that lie, you'd be all right. Nonetheless, let's see what you're showing me about the adoption and the 18,000.
Yeah, here's, I'm sorry. These are the
now we're going to let him talk now, ma'am. Sir, you want to respond to this?
Yes, sir. One of the reasons why I signed the adoption papers, I agree with it, is because she's made it so difficult for me to even maintain a decent relationship with my children.
How so?
So I figured a piece
How so?
of paper.
That's not true.
How so?
Everything is an argument. Like, she sent the kids out in gym shoes in the snow, and I'm like, well, where the boots at? I bought them. And that turned into a big argument. You can't tell my kids what to put on,
What
this,
else?
that, and the other. Life, everyday life, everything is.
Now
she
you need
makes
to tell me,
everything.
didn't you allow
For
someone
example-
else to adopt your children?
For example,
The
she told
adoption
me
has not
she
gone
moved.
through at
Pardon?
all. The adoption has not
I know,
gone
but
through.
this being pursued.
Yeah.
It hasn't been pursued for almost over a year now.
He said
pursued.
yes. He said he's
Before-
pursuing giving away his children to someone else because he's had an argument about boots with their mother. That's all. I hope you're listening.
I'm listening to
All
what
right.
he's
Do you
saying.
have any children with him?
I do.
You better not argue about boots. What else? You
For
said
example,
everyday
yeah.
life was your second example.
For example, Your Honor, she told me she took the kids and was gone.
That's not true.
She made us drive over.
You be quiet, man. I'm telling he let him tell me about his kids.
Yeah, she caused us to travel all the way out to Cleves, Ohio every day. Even when she was living.
How old
in,
are your children?
The oldest daughter I have with her is 10.
How about the others?
I have the youngest one is 5 or 6.
She's
right
7,
now.
Your Honor.
She's 7.
Wow.
He's never got to have
I've
a
never
relationship.
seen her. I've never got to have a relationship with her.
Ma'am, one more word out of you until I ask you. I'm going to dismiss your case and throw you out my court. Got that? Say yes.
Yes.
All right.
And my son is 9.
Said he's pursuing giving away his children to someone else because he's had an argument about boots with their mother. That's all. I hope you're listening.
I'm listening.
All right. Do you have any children with him?
I do.
You better not argue about boots.
Plaintiffs Jamie Figg and his wife Elizabeth Figg say Jamie has 3 children with the defendant, who claims Jamie recently agreed to sign over his parental rights so her new husband could adopt them.
All right. Well, most men, when they mother of their children, cause a few complications in the relationship, which is very, 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 very frequent. They go to court, custody battle, fight for visitation, ask the judge, why don't you grant me full custody? Judge, have her pay the court costs for me coming to deal with this nonsense. Therefore, if she has to pay $1,000, that's going to discourage her from interfering.
I did all that. I went to court with her. I took her to court for visitation.
By the way, did that wipe away $18,000?
Paperwork ain't gonna stop the bond I
Sir,
have with my
did it
children.
wipe away $18,000?
Did it wipe it away?
Yes. Do you still
sir.
owe it?
Yes, sir. I still owe
Okay,
it
and if the
$18,000.
adoption goes through, will you still owe it?
No.
Okay, good enough. All right,
Paperwork
your
don't
$2,500. Tell me about the emotional distress and the harassment.
Well, first and foremost, the emotional distress is for them taking me back and forth to court constantly and for money issues regarding the children.
Why they have to take you to court?
That he keeps taking me back to court to have the agreement changed.
What agreement?
For days and times that he wants to see the children.
Why do they have to get them changed?
He claims he had to go to school and he had to go to work at certain
No, you
times.
only go to court to sue for that if the mother is refusing.
He asked for a modification for it because
Right, but why do you have to keep taking you to court? Why couldn't you just say yes?
to me providing the children's clothing. or
No,
for the
you
time.
said it was times. You
I
said
did
it
say
was
yes.
the availability of time. Now you bring up clothes. When I tell you that all you had to do was tell the man, yeah, you can come visit. Let's get back to the times and the modification. Modification of what?
to come and pick up the children.
Right, times, once again.
Yes.
Why couldn't you just say yes?
I
Why
did
does he
say
have
yes.
to? No, he wouldn't take you to court if you said yes.
Just like this, I said yes to this, and he still takes me back and forth.
No,
to
you
court
said
for
yes
these
after
things.
you went to court.
No, this was not after we went to court.
I don't believe the man keeps taking you to court, keeps wasting his time, keeps wasting his money just to get a modification on the times that he can come and see them after you've said yes. Doesn't make sense.
I'm not for sure then, Your Honor.
Okay.
But that's what he
Sir?
does.
She was having me drive 45 minutes to spend an hour with my children. My modification requested that I get the children from Friday at 6 o'clock to Sunday.
Did you talk to her before taking her to court?
Yes.
What'd she say?
She said no.
That's not true.
Did she give you a reason?
She never gives me a reason.
All right, and that's why you took her to court?
She said no.
All right. And your harassment is for what else? Because I believe he had every right and he should have taken you to court if you could not agree to a request of, as you even said, a change in the schedule. So I think that was legitimate. What other harassment or emotional distress are you suing for?
Text messages, phone calls at 2 a.m. in the morning.
From whom?
From Mrs. Fig
Saying
and
what?
from Mr. Fig. Just telling me where her husband was.
Telling you where he was?
Yes, he's at home with her.
All right. And you have the times on there?
Yes, these are the police reports.
They say the time of the calls.
No, it doesn't specifically state
Good
the time
enough,
of the call.
because I'm just going to conclude that's the regular back and forth that folks go through. But sir, this is just ridiculous for you to allow your children to be adopted by someone else just because she won't act right with regard to visitation. Just go back to court, go back to court. That's you give it up too easy if that's your only reason.
It's not, Your Honor. That's not the only reason.
Okay.
Like, it gets to the point where the children is being affected by the way.
And they resent you?
Right. And I don't want my children to have to choose. A piece of paper is not going to determine my relationship with my child.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
What I'm saying is I've already established a relationship with my children.
You gonna go to court
That's
one of
not
these
true.
times, and she's gonna say, look at this paper, Your Honor. It's gonna be over.
But at the point that they're grown, Your Honor, it's their choice. We can establish a relationship beyond her control.
All right. And you know what they're gonna say? I'm just trying to give you a little insight here. I've seen a lot of this. They're gonna say to you, you gave us up for adoption. Don't you say nothing to us. If you see me on the street, don't speak. So just understand that. I'm not going to tell you how to run your life. You sound like you've tried your best, and I am convinced that she has interfered with the visitation. So let's get to the phone bill, the jeans, and the stolen property. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, for Christmas of 2011, we gave the children over $100 worth of gifts. We were fine with them taking them home. When they got them there, they told us that their mother made them set them on the porch and that they could not play with them. So we asked her for them back. She said, no, we don't know what happened with the gifts. We let that go. So then in June, we gave the oldest child a cell phone. She called her mother first to ask if she could have the cell phone. The mother said, fine. She got it home. She called my husband. She said she's not mature enough for the phone. She had changed her mind. That was fine. My husband said, that's fine. Give it back the next time we pick them up for visitation. By the time we had gotten there for visitation, it mysteriously disappeared and she didn't know what happened to it. Fine, we let that go. So then in September, she sent the oldest child out with a pair of jeans that did not button. When they didn't button, I said, okay, because you're a similar build, fit, whatever to me, you can borrow a pair of my jeans. My husband called her, said, she has a pair of my wife's jeans. Please return them at the next visitation. We have that text message to prove that. She said, no, I don't have to. The judge ruled that she did not have to.
What about the stolen property?
Well, that's what it was called. It was
Let me say this, and the reason I'm laughing, this morning, one of my very best friends wakes me up. My son's mama, I gotta take her to court. What's up, man? Why you gotta go? Cause she gave him this phone, and I don't want him to have the phone. So I gave him a different phone, and she took the phone and won't give him the phone, or something about the same mess. About a cell phone. He's coming across country to go to court about a cell phone. Now, I don't know who's the fool, whether it's him or her. But it's foolish for them to have to go through this. So that's why I'm laughing. The exact issue. I believe the man keeps taking you to court, keeps wasting his time, keeps wasting his money just to get a modification on the times that he can come and see them after you've said yes. Doesn't make sense.
Plaintiffs Jamie Fig and his wife Elizabeth Fig say Jamie has 3 children with the defendant, who claims Jamie recently agreed to sign over his parental rights so her new husband could adopt them.
Ma'am, I'm gonna let you address these blue jeans and whatever, this cell phone. Where's the cell phone? What happened to the phone?
Your Honor, they gave her the cell phone. Jamie and I had a conversation about the cell phone, and she was not allowed to have the cell phone.
All right. Blue jeans, will you give them back, please?
Yes.
All right. Both your cases are dismissed. This was nothing but resentment going on. The judge who you dealt with previously on the visitation has to deal with that. And I'm sorry to hear that you're going through that, but that's part of fatherhood with children by a woman you're no longer with. And good luck. Both your cases are dismissed.
If she ever chooses to file the actual adoption papers,
They
which
have
have
been
yet
filed.
to be filed,
They have been
because
filed,
of
but she
other
doesn't
charges.
know. She's not.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No, I'm happy
because
you
she's sitting back collecting money for her children, and she uses them as little paychecks, all 10 of them.
Okay, if that's how you feel,
That's exactly
you're not
how
in
it
the household.
is.
That's why your husband
That's
can't
okay.
take care of you in your household. And you tell
works
them
every
things
day.
like that
Last
in
time
front,
I checked, you didn't work.
in front,
Last time I
and-
checked, you don't
Oh,
work.
Yes, I do.
Collect
Yes, I
Social
do.
Security.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
you
if
probably
that's what
consider
you
that a
think.
job.